surely somewhere in today's show we can have an argument about whether or not Myles Garrett will go to the Detroit Lions from the Cleveland Browns.
Ooh, we were supposed to lead with that the entire first segment. I think the first hour is supposed to be dead. That's on me. Hand up.
Nicely done. Thanks for taking over during the technical snafus. And you know what? A piece of that technical snafu is due to the trashy cheese fries that I had last night. Otherwise, this would have been a much earlier start to the morning. And maybe Dan in Gulf Shores, Alabama, or Carrie, who is listening right now in Billings, Montana, they're like, I didn't need to know that. I didn't want to know that. That's gross. But this is a show predicated on trust, you know? Like, I want to make sure I'm open and honest with the listener and vice versa. I don't want the listener to lie to me. I want to be able to have these tough conversations about life and love and bowel movements, and we did today. Thank you, Addie. Before we hop into the Pacers drama and also the person who didn't speak to people, Rick Carlisle, before we jump into the Pacers drama and their whole tanking situation, how the NBA is completely bass-ackwards, or whatever that saying is, there are 8 major quarterback decisions to be made this offseason. John Frashella tweeted out yesterday those 8 and the bearing they have on the National Football League. The Falcons will release Kirk Cousins as soon as they're able. Please allow them to release him today, and they would. But they're also not committed to Michael Penix as a starter. Guess who they want? Maybe Malik Willis. Or maybe Kyler Murray? The Vikings, believe it or not committed to J.J. McCarthy as a starter. Probably should have kept Sam Darnold. And they could add Kirk Cousins back, create a competition with McCarthy. The Steelers, who's their quarterback? We still don't know. We do not know the Atlanta Falcons starting quarterback. We do not know the Minnesota Vikings starting quarterback. We do not know the Pittsburgh Steelers starting quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, you can bring him back, but he won't commit to that right now. He's not in a hurry. He's living on spun cake, watching the sun bake with his ayahuasca or whatever it is, where the person like holds your hand while you trip balls. I can't say that. I don't think I'm supposed to say that. Do we cut that part? We don't have to. I'll pay the fine. Or it's they fined Mark Pope for saying, can't find me. Didn't say anything about it. Can't find me.
We're acknowledging it. We're owning it.
Yep, I'm handing up on that one. Steelers could bring back Aaron Rodgers, but they could also add Ty Simpson or Carson Beck. Just grab somebody in the first round, late first round, or middle of the draft. They think they can mold into a Tyler Shuck situation. The Jets. Who is the New York Jets starting quarterback? Name him. 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Me.
They don't really have one. They could trade for Davis Mills, Tanner McKee, or get like a Taylon Green out of Arkansas. 6th rounder, 5th rounder. They can get him pretty late. The Dolphins, also interested, the man of the hour, in Malik Willis. But will they get him in this big want, in this big push for each franchise to get Malik Willis? Dolphins also have Quinn Ewers, and the trade market for Tua does not look very good. Cleveland Browns, who's their starting quarterback? You can't name that one because they don't have one. Ty Simpson, Malik Willis. Could they get somebody at 6th overall? I don't know. Then they also have Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, and Dylan Gabriel that exist in the void. The Raiders, who don't have a quarterback, will likely take Fernando Mendoza. Trade off Geno Smith. Aiden O'Connell can stick around. Hang out if Mendoza doesn't work out. The Cardinals, who's their starting quarterback? You don't know. Also linked to Malik Willis. And if you asked John Frashella, he thinks they will get Malik Willis and trade Kyler Murray away. 8 NFL franchises looking for new guys, and 8 NFL franchises that are replacing guys, possibly, like Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers. Those are names you've heard of. Tua Tagovailoa. Those are names you've heard of. Kyler Murray. And now going in a different direction, because that's the way the offseason's about to work. That's the way when we jump into free agency. in 13 days, 12 days, it's going to be absolute chaos. And guess what? The best way to digest that chaos, and hopefully you digest it a little bit better than I'm digesting the trashy cheese fries. The best way to digest it is right here, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Time, every single day on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
First place in the Big East is on the line. Number 4, UConn. Number 15, St. John's. Tonight, 7 Eastern tip on Westwood One and the Westwood One Sports app.
See clear as the light of day. Running on curves cause I'm out of luck, and I'm tucking my tail and running away. I'd rather face the good God Almighty, have mercy on me when it comes across in a good godly woman. That just scares the devil right out of me. Seems so well. Walking the line never made more sense, cause this good godly woman is battling hell. I'd rather face the good God Almighty, have mercy on me when it comes across in the good godly woman. That just scares the devil right out of me. Good God Almighty, have mercy on me when it comes across in a good God
Touch yourself. Touch yourself. Touch yourself. It is the Drake Toll Show. Bang! Good morning. Drake Toll with you. You know what my least favorite thing maybe in the entire world is? Food poisoning. Number two, I just don't. Somebody asked me yesterday. I told you I was at dinner with a buddy getting these trashy cheese fries. And by the way, I think we found a new source of the food poisoning and why I'm having food poisoning at such an alarming rate. Again, 3 times in the last 2.5 months is not normal.
Here we go again.
You shouldn't do that as a human being. Addie believes, because when I took this job, there's no way to ever make this sound normal or good. When I took this job, I stopped drinking. Is that Pete Hegseth? Is that who that is? He was like, I'll never drink again.
Yes.
Just give me, what's his role? What's his job?
The Secretary of Defense.
Yep, I'll never drink again.
Or Secretary of War.
He just sits there and drinks, right? That's all he does.
I have no idea.
Cheats on his wife.
And that is not for me to say. I don't even know who that is. That's for Addie and Curtis, who are more plugged in than I. I'm just the cat mom. There's no way to make it sound good, but I stopped by and large drinking. And that was more so because sober sleep is electric. And so I would come home and I would have a Miller Lite, have a beer with dinner, have a beer at a movie, most nights out of the week. Never more than 2, 3. I go to sleep. And I always told people, you know what I told people, Addie? You know what I would say? I can quit whenever I want. I don't need it. I'm good. I can quit whenever. I just don't want to yet. And then when I took this job, what did I do? I held my word and I just stopped. I was like, all right, cool. I'll get sober sleep and I can wake up early now. And I think there could be a correlation between the food poisoning and the reintroduction of Miller Lights into my life. Because last night I did have a few beers when I was out with the boys. You think that could be the root issue here, gluten?
I'm no scientist, but that just sounds right. Okay. I feel like that just sounds right. Maybe it's the amount we're drinking. Maybe it's not just what we're drinking, but the amount we're drinking. Is that normally, so in the past, that was your go-to drink to have with dinner?
Yeah. I would cook a steak, have a Miller Lite. Dudes rock. Sorry.
No, I'm not judging. My go-to drink for dinner is like way worse, so.
Wine?
Non-alcoholic.
Non-alcoholic wine?
Milk.
Okay. I don't know if that's worse, but all right, great.
But maybe it's the quantity, okay? Maybe not the quality, but the quantity of what we're drinking.
Maybe it's the friends we made along the way while drinking is what you're going for here.
Absolutely.
Rick Carlisle. NBA did not speak with team doctors before fining the Indiana Pacers $100,000. That is from the mouth of Rick Carlisle, who said that Tuesday the NBA's investigators did not speak with our team or our players, with anyone here, before issuing a $100,000 fine for violating the league's player participation policy. He made those comments during his weekly on 107.5 The Fan. Shout out. Here's the quote from Carlisle. The league lawyer that was doing the interview, kind of unilaterally, decided that Aaron Nesmith, who's been injured the night before and could not hold the ball, should have played in the game, which is ridiculous, Carlisle said. And during the interview process, I was not in on, but I heard the details. We asked them if they wanted to talk to the doctors, our doctors, about it, because it was something documented by our doctors and trainers. They said no, they didn't need to. They talked to their doctors, who did not examine Aaron Nesmith. We asked if they wanted to talk to the player. They said they didn't need to, which was shocking to Rick Carlisle. And during the interview, they also asked if the Pacers considered medicating him to play in a game when we were down. We were 30 games under 500, so I was very surprised. So the NBA is coming down on teams now for tanking. And they are pushing this issue so hard that Rick Carlisle is yelling into a microphone like, hey, they're fining us $100,000, 6 figures here, for a guy who was hurt. We're 30 games under 500, and the league went to him and said, well, did you give him medicine? Carlisle's like, what the hell, man? What are we doing here? And this reminds me vaguely of the Iran-Contra affair. Addie, you ever heard of the Iran-Contra affair, by the way? This is a question for you.
No, I have not.
You haven't! You haven't! Little do you know, the Iran-Contra affair is the entire reason that everything bad has ever happened in the last 40 years. This is Ronald Reagan administration, 1985 to 87. There is a secret trade. The U.S. government, at the time, secretly sold high-tech weapons, this is real, this is true, to Iran, which was under an arms embargo at the time. So in exchange for the weapons, the U.S. hoped that Iran would use its influence to help release 7 American hostages being held in Lebanon by a terrorist group that was loyal to Iran. The Contra connection. The profits from these secret arms sales were illegally funneled to the Contras, a rebel group of fighting socialist government officials in Nicaragua. So this is illegal, by the way. Congress had passed a law saying, hey, Mr. President, Reagan, whoa, hey. The Bolin Amendment's been passed. You can't provide military aid to the Contras due to the human rights abuses happening in Nicaragua by the Contras. And now by moving the money through secret accounts, because remember we sold these weapons to Iran, they now have all these weapons. We got money from Iran. Oh, look, where did this money from Iran come from? We can bypass this rule. The power of the purse held by Congress by running their own private foreign policy. Oh, we got this money from Iran. It's not officially back in U.S. soil. Why don't we just funnel it to Nicaragua, to the Contras? Ronald Reagan, the president, authorized the illegal arms sales. Later claimed he was unaware the money was being sent to the Contras. How could I ever have known? Oliver North, lieutenant colonel on the National Security Council, became the fall guy. He was the architect of the plan, diverted the funds. So, you know what? Actually, I'll give you a couple more nuggets. John Poindexter, relative of Curtis, National Security Advisor. He resigned, was convicted for his role in the cover-up, but it was overturned. We were good. He did not hang himself. Oh, and the Secretary of Defense, Caspar Weinberger, was indicted and pardoned by George H.W. Bush. So if you're tracking at home, everyone who sold these weapons to Iran for money to give to a terrorist group in Nicaragua, they all got off scot-free. And in the aftermath of this, you're wondering, why does it matter? What does it matter that this happened? Well, the story broke, exposed the arm deal, cargo plane carrying supplies to the Contras was shot down over Nicaragua. Tower Commission has to investigate, and they, find that, wait a second, this plane's going to Nicaragua because the President of the United States authorized this whole deal. Oliver North becomes a household name. And on Christmas Eve, George H.W. Bush pardoned 6 officials involved in the affair. Addie, you've never heard of this. Curtis, you've never heard of this. By and large, it was a non-issue to the average American human being. Why was it a non-issue? Because it didn't care. Today, you wouldn't care. But you want to know how? A large swath of the Middle East was militarized? Where a lot of those weapons came from, this war on terror that we're fighting, Mr. Bush and other Mr. Bush, Desert Storm. That's weird. They all have a lot of guns that look oddly similar to guns that we could have given them in the mid-'80s under the Reagan administration. That's weird. And they're shooting those guns at us. Odd. But no one knows. No one knows about the Iran-Contra affair. Do you know why no one knows? Because we swept it under the rug. As long as you don't talk about something, it's no longer an issue. And if the statement is true, that as long as you do not talk about something, then it becomes a non-issue, despite being a massive issue, that as long as we're quiet about this, that no one's going to care, then the inverse must also be true. And the inverse of that would say that if you talk about something, if you bring it up enough times, you can create a problem out of anything. And the National Basketball Association has created a problem out of tanking that I'm not so sure they actually ever had. I did not wake up 4 weeks ago and say, I can't believe the Suns are tanking. I'm so mad. I can't believe the Jazz lost again. Ugh. I can't believe it. They should be trying to win. No, I didn't say that. I didn't care. Because those teams could win as much as they want in the regular season. They can go to the playoffs. They're not going to win in the postseason in the National Basketball Association. But Adam Silver keeps going to podiums and saying, the crisis, this is a direct quote. The current tanking crisis, quote, worse than in recent memory. And following blatant roster management, quote, roster management, by the Jazz and the Pacers, the league is fast-tracking reform. We got the reform candidate here. Incumbents be damned. The NBA needs to fix this problem. A problem that I don't think I cared about. A problem that, by the way, exists in every single major sport in America. Every single professional league in America. Hell, colleges are tanking at this point. What if we go 2 years, we don't play well, we don't spend on NIL, we stockpile it, and then instead of having $20 million for a roster, in 2 years, we have $60 million for a roster, outpace everyone else in college football, and we win. And winning at that level gets us even more money to dump into our roster. That is a form of tanking. Well, similar to the Iran-Contra affair, you didn't think about that. You didn't consider that, so you didn't really care. Here in the National Basketball Association, did you ever really care? Did it matter to you? Is tanking something that bothers you? Or are you too busy? Do you not have enough free time on your hands to wake up in the morning and think, ugh, I'm mad. The NBA's tanking. But what if? I mean, okay, if you ask me, fine. Whatever, I'll fix it. Here's what I would do. And by the way, I think the urgency should be on the gambling elephant. We just had a head coach arrested. Anyone? Multiple major players arrested. Anyone? I'm less worried about if Lauri Markkanen is going to play tonight, whether or not he's healthy. I'm less worried about that than I am these secret poker games where big wigs in the NBA, big names in the NBA, were stealing money from people. How about watchability? Regional sports networks falling apart. It's hard to watch your favorite team sometimes. And how are we stuck on this, the NBA, the tanking's a problem? Well, we could just be relishing in the fact that there are 6, 7, 8 elite players that will go in the lottery next season and all be very good, down to Darius Acuff Jr. But if you asked me, here's what I'd do, in brief. Lottery odds freeze. Fixed date, March 1st. Lottery odds, they're locked. Those odds are locked. They're based on the standings at March 1st. There's no tactical tanking in the final 6 weeks of the season. You don't need to sit healthy players. You already know what you're stacked up against. I think you should limit pick protections. That is, rules that only allow teams to protect picks in specific ranges, like top 4, top 14. That's just always been stupid to me. Teams will tank to stay in that protected range. Obviously, they would tank to stay in that range. And it removes the whole math-based incentive to lose. Oh, I didn't realize it was going to backfire that way. It did. Repeat offenders. Dog, if you keep picking in the top 4 3 years in a row, or twice in 3 years, great. We ensure that 4th year you cannot pick at the top 4. And finally, 2-year aggregate records. I like this one the most. This is the one that I've heard this week that I like the most. Base the lottery odds on a team's record over the last 2 seasons combined rather than just one. Oh, that's stupid. Wait. It makes a 1-year dive for a superstar, like a Cooper Flagg, less effective. You're thinking 2 years out now. You can't think about a high school kid. You definitely shouldn't think about a high school kid. And your previous years of better play dilute your lottery odds. So you'd have to suck for a couple years, and you couldn't suck intentionally under my parameters. For you to win. This is the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. And when we return, our biggest losers of the day, including, surprise, Joe Shane. Sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. Progressivecommercial.com. This is the Drake Toll Show.
How long will the Steelers wait around for?
In the town of North Texas on a Rado, 100 miles east of the state line, 200 clicks from the old quarry, and west of those windy old pines, 900 miles south of the border, and 300 north of the other one. Between the lake and the rolling hills, 93 million miles from the sun. Won't you take me home to North Texas on a Rado? Won't you take me there to where the birds sing with a smooth vibrato in Texas on a Rado? 5,000 miles from a big city where the crocodiles and the cacti grow. Go west on Interstate 35, take 4 rights and you're back on that road. Take a left, take a left, take another left, then another left, head east and you're heading home to North Texas on a Rado, the town where the dodos roam. Won't you take me home to North Texas on a Rado? Won't you take me there to where the birds sing with a smooth vibrato in Texas on a Rado?
power that comes over you, the opportunity presented in front of you for sentience, to exist in a timeline where sports and life have intersected for a time such as this. Touch yourself. To realize that you exist and you have worth in a world where worth can be hard to derive. It's the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Man, the food poisoning has gotten worse. At pretty much every crevasse. And it's tough, man. What do you do? You know, there's only so much Pepto, baby, that you can take. Remember when Dick Vitale had the big Pepto-Bismol kick for like 2 months during March Madness 5 years ago? Pepto, baby. It was this whole thing. Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Baby. It's because he was sitting at home watching, which is so sad. But he was like, yep, I guess it was Pepto. This is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, and this is where we have fun with our biggest losers of the day. Biggest loser number one, me. I have to schedule a dog sitter for the weekend. I need someone to watch the house. House sitter? I need someone to keep the house, to sit the house. Didn't think of it till yesterday. I need them on Friday. And I'm realizing now, really tight turnaround there.
Yeah,
Are you offering?
Rover? Yeah, I'll take care of doggy Toll.
I do have Rover. Rover's just stupid expensive most of the time, so I'm not Rovering.
But I did Rover. I love Rover.
You would do Rover. I used to do Rover, and then I realized that you can just schedule people. Oh, shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. You can schedule the people on Rover, right? And then when you go pick your dog up, just say, hey, we don't have to do this whole Rover thing anymore. Here's my phone number. I'll just pay you directly.
Yeah.
Yikes. Gung. That's not illegal, though, is it? Like,
no.
From
no,
a law
building
standpoint?
Connections. They make enough money, okay? If this was like a mom and pop thing, it'd be like Drake. It's a big corporation. I don't care.
Yep.
Unless they sponsored them the show, then we never did any of this.
We love you, Rover. We love you so much. Biggest loser of the day, number two. The best teams in college baseball. What? Last night, 4 of the top 6 teams in the sport all lost. Number 1, UCLA, fell to unranked San Diego State 4-3. Unranked McNeese State beat number 2 LSU 7-6. Georgia State, unranked, beat number 5 Georgia Tech 9-4. And number 6 Arkansas fell to Arkansas State, unranked, 12-4. Yeesh. 4 of the top 6 teams losing in college baseball in their midweeks. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Ugh, gross. Biggest loser, Joe Shane. This would apply a lot of the times for a lot of the things. And Dove Kleiman tweets, the Giants GM Joe Shane clarifies he is still the team's. Trust me, guys, I am still the team's GM, despite the rumors he's been relegated to scout. Here's what Shane had to say.
Skill set at the league office, the 3 teams that she's worked with before. She's been on health and safety committees. You know, she's been in charge of the salary cap negotiations in the past. So her skill set's going to help us across the entire, football organization. So, a really good hire, a really good ad for the New York Giants that I'm fired up about.
Who will direct the conversations about contracts with agents or free agents? Are you running those meetings? Is Dawn running those? Are you doing that collaboratively?
Yeah, and Pat, I'm still the general manager of the team, and my role has not changed. I'm still tasked with leading the entire football operation, and we're going to work in collaboration like most good teams do. And it's going to be a collaborative. Everybody's going to have their role, but there's constant communication between Dawn, Coach Harbaugh, myself, in terms of how we're going to build the football operation, and then how we're going to execute, the draft, trades, free agency, contract signings, coaching staff, whatever it may be. We're going to work in collaboration together. We're aligned in that, and it's been going really good so far.
Has your contract been addressed at all?
I'm not going to get into my personal situation.
Joe.
And I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, their senior vice president, Don Aponte, seems to be really involved in a lot of what's going on there. And rumors would have it in New York that Joe Shane is not the GM anymore. To which he responds, yes, I am. Stop. Don't say that. I'm totally the GM, guys. Please. Stop. John Harbaugh has walked into that franchise, completely taken it over. And you know what? That's probably for the better. Sorry, Joe Shane, but if you've got to tell the people of the world I'm the GM, please don't forget that. Remember, I'm still the GM, guys. You probably already lost. That's why you're a biggest loser today. Someone lost in this fight. Audio from ESPN. Why? Virginia and NC State got into quite the brawl yesterday. I don't know why those two teams hate each other. I guess they do. Here's what it sounded like when Will Wade's team got into quite the scuffle.
Aaron Williams under control, and now a technical foul, and another technical foul. And all of a sudden now we've got guys being separated here. And DeRitter and Roger Ayers is in the middle of this with Michael Roberts. And I'm not quite sure what happened here, but we had players leave both benches. Roger Ayers and Will Wade are talking here.
Boring. You know who the biggest loser is today in this world that I live in, that we live in? Me. Again. For having to watch fights that just suck. Like, if you're going to fight somebody, maybe this is the wrong mentality to have, but just lay a punch in there. Used to, they'd get bloody. Those old MLB brawls are awesome. They're dope. Back when men used to be manly. But you know what happened? Sports betting apps started offering insurance, bet insurance, and since then testosterone has plummeted. Now all they can do is do this little weird shoving. Oh, I'm mad at you. In a game that was out of reach. NC State was going to lose the game anyway. Down by 13 in the second half. We fought. Ooh, I'm mad. Biggest loser. Oh, this ABS thing's already a problem. I love it. It's hilarious to me. But this ABS thing's a problem. We won't play all of this, but if you think you had a bad day yesterday, 5 consecutive calls from an umpire at JetBlue Park in the Cardinals spring training facility, the Red Sox, I should say, spring training facility against the Pirates, had calls. 5 straight calls overturned by ABS for this umpire. Here you go.
The veteran move. Well, we'll have a review here. Our first ABS challenge of the day.
Call on the field is a ball. The catcher is challenging.
There it is. Catcher challenging the ball called. We will take a look. And it is a strike. So the catcher was right. And that one kind of right down the middle. Gets the called strike on the inside. And Contreras wants an ABS review, so we will get challenged.
Call on the field is a strike. The batter is challenging.
We get the look. That's a ball. Oh, yeah, right. You've missed 2, and one was right down the middle, and one was 2 inches outside, and now you're like, all right, I'm having a bad day, and everybody knows it. Takes called strike. Struck out back.
Call on the field is a strike. The batter is challenging.
They make the challenge. They show.
Call's overturned. Boston retains their challenge.
The ball is indeed the call overturned. Boston keeps the challenge. Missing there. It's a ball, but they will challenge.
Call on the field is a ball. The catcher is challenging. The call is confirmed. Pittsburgh has 1 challenge remaining.
The crowd gets the cheer. Oh, the Fenway faithful are undefeated even here in Fenway South.
I love that his first call was so military-like. The call on the field is a ball. The catcher has challenged. And by the last one, he just, the call on the field is a strike. The catcher wanted to challenge him. God, again, it's just over my shoulder all day at my job where I work, the place where I work. Yes, we are. That's how the ABS system works, and now it means that we have more accurate balls and strikes, and I'm okay with that. Last loser of the day, Mark Postman fined $25,000. He did not curse. He said MFers. Like, legitimately didn't say the actual full word, just said M-F-E-R-S. Walking off the podium a couple days ago, he said, Mitch! I don't even know who Mitch is. He said, Mitch, if those MFers, I think it's their AD, try to find me, they can't. I didn't say a word about how they cheated us. Sneaky Mark Pope. If those MFers try to find me, they can't. I didn't say a word. He's been fined by the SEC $25,000. Bang, take that, Mark Pope. Coming up on the Drake Toll Show, our obituaries. Who's dead today? Addie Bates produces in Washington, D.C. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
This is
gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning, death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh Lord, yeah. darkness world stops turning. Ashes where the body's burning. No more war pigs have the power. And as God has struck the hour, day of judgment, God is calling. Oh, Lexington's a city, but it ain't so big, it freaks me out. And if I need a breather, I can hit the parkway. Be home before the bars all close. Drink away the lies she told. Think about the days. She was a pure-eyed child, a rodeo queen, high school lover in a badass Jeep. Far from the eyes of a watchful town. Her mama didn't need to know.
Let's go!
Good corn liquor to shake this cold, and good hot loving on a gravel road. Juliet, won't you call outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo?
It is the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Good morning, America. From Washington to Florida to New York to the coast of Maine, the most beautiful place I think I've been. I lived in Anchorage for a little bit, Alaska. I think the most beautiful place, serene place I've ever been, the coast of Maine, if you can believe it. Yep, buy that. Oceanfront property. Something about it. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, unreleased from Tyler Childers, bringing us back in for the 7 o'clock hour. 7 a.m., 1 minute and 43 seconds Eastern time right now, which might mean that it's 4 o'clock in the morning in Las Vegas. Well, 4:01 and 49 seconds now. You're sitting at the craps table, and for some reason, they let you have an AirPod in, and you have the Drake Toll Show on. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Or you know what? You're setting up right now to serve breakfast. You own a restaurant in Joplin, Missouri, and you have to serve breakfast in an hour. So you're getting it all put together. You turn on sports radio every day, and your favorite local show doesn't come on for another hour, so you turn on the Drake Toll Show for a little bit. And that's what you and I are here together for right now. Addie Bates producing, Curtis Poindexter running the board. And you're here to find out from me who died today. It's time for our obituaries. The first dead of the day. People who hate sports. They're done. They're gone. They don't exist anymore. Why? Because we are 10 days away from the World Baseball Classic. 17 days away from NFL. This is dated. Like, we're 9 days away now from the... When did you find this, Addie?
You sent it to me.
Okay. I sent it to you a few days ago.
You sent it to me yesterday.
Oh, no. We're like 8 or 9 days away from the World Baseball Classic, 15 days away from NFL free agency, 22 days away from March Madness, 30 days away from MLB opening day. The Masters is in 44 days, 53 days to the NBA playoffs. This is all in the next 2 months. World Baseball Classic, free agency, March Madness, opening day, Masters, playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs are in 53 days. The NFL draft is in 2 months, and the World Cup will start after that. If you don't like sports, dead, gone, bang, over, because it's about to get crazy. There's going to be so much to talk about on the Drake Toll Show. Also dead today, people who refuse to watch sports on national television networks. I saw a Facebook post from my hometown of Valonia, Arkansas, where most people are reasonable and good, but one person was not. They wanted to be a real keyboard warrior on Facebook, backfired, blew up in their face, and they posted something along the lines of, I am so glad the Olympics are over. I did not watch any of it. All of that woke BS. I will not be watching it, and I'm glad it is done. And all the comments were like, the Olympics rocked. What are you talking about? Why didn't you watch the Olympics? There was nothing What do you mean? None of it was political. It was just the Olympics. I will not watch NBC. I refuse. Due to my politics. I do believe some people have cut themselves off from joy or fun and happy things in life because they believe this odd perception that there is a fake entity out to get them. That's a small part of a bigger major conversation. If you are that guy, I did not watch the Olympics. I am glad it is over. Over the past year, here are the most watched single network non-football TV broadcasts. Football dominates. If you don't, I do not watch the NFL because of politics. Well, sorry, the NFL has record viewership. World Series, 27 million viewers on Fox. Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, 25 million viewers on NBC. The Winter Olympics Super Bowl lead-out, 20 million. The Oscars, 19.7 million. And we have the official from Joe Pompliano, 20 million viewers, a peak of 26, but an average of 20 million viewers on the men's hockey gold medal game. It is the number one most watched sporting event before 9 a.m. Eastern time ever in the United States of America. Yeah, but I did not watch it. I stood my ground. Great, I did. I watched it for you, and it was electric. Dead today. Chandler Morris being a college quarterback. Chandler Morris is not dead, but we are obituarying Chandler Morris as a college football player. I hope. On 3 posts, Virginia quarterback Chandler Morris is suing the NCAA for a 7th season of eligibility, Pete Nakos reports. No longer do we live in a world where we can ask for things politely. No longer do we live in the world where we can say, hey, I've played 6 years of college football. Could I please have number 7? And then reasonably, the NCAA says no. And the reason they do say no is because you should never get a 7th year of college football. Not how it works. Unless you destroyed your knee all six of those years and not touched the field yet. I don't see why a 7th year would make any sense for Chandler Morris or the NCAA to allow it. By the way, if you're the parent, I'm about to cook. Ooh, I feel it. I'm letting it sink in a little bit. That could be the food poisoning, but I think I'm about to cook. If you're a parent of a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, playing high school football, prospects to play in college, the ability to go pro, but you wanted to have a college career first, this should infuriate you. Your kid won't play. How is your kid supposed to play as a 19-year-old? Formerly, and Malachi Tony's an example of this. Formerly, we had a lot of freshmen in college football that were contributing. Freshmen who could grow up in the program, who would get some playing time, who would get experience. Now, nope. I'll just go get the 5th-year guy out of Western Kentucky who gets a 6th year to play for me at Alabama. Or I'm Chandler Morris at Virginia, and I want year number 7. And guess what? Your 18-year-old son, by the time that he is 22 in his 4th year of college, probably won't have. By then, we'll have some parameter. So he'll only get 4 years. But nope, the other guys, they get 7. That would tick me off royally. I'd be very upset. That's who should be mad about this, that Chandler Morris wants a 7th. By the way, graduating class of Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Jalen Suggs. Chandler Morris graduated high school the same day as Bryce Young. C.J. Stroud done been in the NFL. Jalen Suggs done been out of Gonzaga. And Chandler Morris, the OU commit, who then went to TCU for a little bit. He's just been everywhere, dog. See in Arkansas for a bit? No, I think before his dad got fired, before he could go to Arkansas. Now he wants year number 7. Finally, obituaries. Dead today is the idea that you have to be a great quarterback to make great money. Look, Matthew Stafford, highest paid NFL player ever as far as career earnings go, $403 million. Aaron Rodgers, $395. Tom Brady, $333. Those kind of make sense. Stafford's an MVP quarterback. Rodgers had a lot of really good years in Green Bay, and they wanted to hold on to him for a long time. Won a Super Bowl. So, yeah, I'm good. But 4th on the list, Kirk Cousins. one playoff win in his entire career, $322 million, the fourth highest paid player in NFL history based on career earnings. No longer do you have to be elite or great to get elite or great money in the National Football League. That's the obituaries. Time for the quickie. Top 5 headlines in all of sports. I have a minute to respond to each of them. I will respond to each of them as best as I can.
Here's your first headline. Boozer goes off as Duke beats Notre Dame by 44.
At one point in this game, Notre Dame had 22 points, and Cameron Boozer had 20. He is, I would draft him above Darren Peterson. And the reason I would draft him above Darren Peterson is because Darren Peterson doesn't want to play and has continued to toy with Kansas. And I don't think I can justify drafting a kid that seems like a possible head case. And has been a problem. Like Bill Self has been vocal. This is a problem. This kid is a problem. This situation is a problem. You know what? I'd go with Cameron Boozer, who I watched last night ball out. He looked really good in Duke's win. Again, Cameron Boozer is one of the top 3 players in college basketball. 24 points last night, 5 for 8 shooting, didn't even need him. 13 boards, didn't even need him. 100-56. Final score 100-56. Duke wins on the road. Ugh, minute.
Woohoo! I still don't trust Duke. I still have trauma from last year because I had them winning it all, and it was
Whatever.
just.
I won every bracket pool that I was in last year. That's a moot point.
Congratulations.
I had Florida and Houston in the national championship. Florida winning, but whatever.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
I need that. I need like that sound. I need that SpongeBob sound. Curtis, can you get on that? Here's your second headline.
What
Botched
does it
final.
mean?
My friend's in there. Congratulations. Do you know that one? Were you allowed to watch SpongeBob as a kid? You don't.
I
seem
was
like
not
you.
allowed to watch SpongeBob.
Yeah, that checks. That checks.
Would they consider
doing-
the devil, you and Patrick?
I was doing real things like reading the Bible to better myself. Now what, huh? Yeah.
I want to hold comments there. Botched
You're over there
final
watching
play.
you're watching a sponge flip burgers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching Gideon destroy an entire army. Now
That
what? We're not
checks.
the same.
Called Krabby Patties.
Yeah, thank you. They're not burgers. Jesus. Get educated. Read a
Yes,
book.
Jesus. That's what I'm saying.
Read
That's
a
what
book.
I'm trying to say.
Botched
Exactly.
final play sees Luka hesitate, LeBron miss.
It looked really stupid. It looked really, really stupid. The last play of the Lakers game last night was just fire somebody. The fire somebody kind of play. All right, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get the ball to Luka. He's going to look really stupid with the ball. He's going to pass it to LeBron. LeBron's going to look even worse. He's going to shoot it. We're going to miss, and we're going to lose to the Magic. At home, by the way. And, we're in a part of the season in the National Basketball Association where you should start winning. It's good now to keep, hey, let's go win. The Lakers have played 57 games, so we're well past. I mean, we had the All-Star break. We're well past the halfway point. It's time to start winning and not just farting away games like this. The Magic at home. And you did, and you looked pretty bad down the stretch doing it. That last play, I didn't watch it live because, it was at 3 a.m. Eastern time, and I've got a show to do at 6. But when I watched the highlights this morning, I thought, wow, there's no way that's real. It looked AI. It was so bad. I implore you, don't turn the radio off, but please Google the play because it's bad.
Google me.
There it is. Here's your third headline. Hellebuck set for Medal of Freedom, President Trump says.
Hell yeah, man.
The highest civilian honor you can get.
Yeah, when I think about Medal of Freedom, I think about the brave men and women who ran into the Twin Towers that collapsed and, lived to tell the tale, the brave firefighters and firemen. I think of Captain Sully, who crash-landed that plane in the river. I think of Kendall Jenner in the Pepsi commercial and her ability to stop all wars through the power of Pepsi. I think of
We Are the World.
We Are the World. Yeah. Michael Jackson. Notable good guy, Michael Jackson. Did a lot of good things in his career. a friend to all, a lover of all, if you will.
Touch yourself.
And then I think Connor Hellebuck for what he did at the Olympics. Medal of Freedom. We just be giving out medals of freedom to anybody nowadays, by the way. So, like, whatever. Nice job. Congrats.
Participation award. Participation award at this point. Number 19, BYU. Ooh. Drake Toll upset at home as UCF drained 14 threes.
Don't understand. I do partially understand the defense of BYU has been suspect for most of the year, but I don't understand how BYU can lose a guy like Richie Saunders, who is arguably their most pivotal player. I know Devonta's the best player in college basketball, but Saunders was the facilitator and has been he's long tenured BYU through and through. He's that guy, right? Saunders being out is a serious problem, but BYU beat Iowa State, a really good Iowa State team, by 10 points without Richie Saunders, and competed on the road at Arizona without Richie Saunders, just to get blown out on their home court. They were down by 30 in this one against UCF. Doesn't make sense. Don't really get it. BYU can beat anybody in the country and also lose to anybody in March Madness. And the reason I phrase it that way is because Jordan Burks and the UCF Knights will be in March Madness. This locked in their ticket, which is pretty cool for the Big 12. Great for UCF. They've had their reserves. They had their reserves in the game. That's bad.
I don't know if this is good or bad. Actually, I do. I think this one's bad. Brandon Aubrey seeking larger deal from Cowboys, sources say.
He wants it bigger, doesn't he?
Who doesn't?
He wants it bigger. He is the best kicker in the NFL right now, yes or no?
Sure.
I think so. Smaller sample size compared to some of the vets that are hanging around. But, you know, Brandon Aubrey, Cam Little, I think could be one of those guys coming up. And the Cowboys said, hey, you're a kicker. Surely you would accept $7.5 million. That's a lot of money for a kicker, big guy. Now get out there and use that leg. And Brandon Aubrey said, I want $10 million. And the Cowboys said, how about no? We already suck. We don't really need you. Like, we could just have a bad kicker and it wouldn't make any difference because we're
keeping
already
the book
bad.
right now, we ass.
Yeah, but there's no reason for the Cowboys. They're like, all right, whatever. We can just save $2.5 million. You know, that's the price of a running back. Brandon Aubrey is asking for the price of a top-tier elite running back, which is now, at this point in the NFL, like $2.5 million. That's facetious sarcasm. Saquon's not making $2.5 million. But there are running backs that are going to make that will win you a Super Bowl. That's how it goes in the National Football League. You're a kicker. Know your role. Stay in your place. Have you seen that scratching commercial yet, by the way? I know we got to hit a break here.
Scratching?
It's the eczema commercial, and all it is 30 seconds of a lady scratching her arm, and it's just...
Stop.
Yeah, you haven't seen that?
No, I haven't. That's disgusting.
I think it was the Super Bowl, too. ESPN plays it a lot. It ruins my day.
I can't do that.
It makes me not want to buy it. Whatever they're selling. I don't know what they're selling still. It makes me not want to buy it, though. Or it makes me want to do the Smut Busters thing and go to the adult store and buy every single inventory as so they cannot sell the inventory anymore. Smut busting. Only for that to give them more revenue to buy more product. That's what I'll do, is I'll just buy whatever the eczema stuff is until they're sold out and no one can get it.
Ugh.
Addy Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. When we return, March Madness. It's ahead. On the men's and women's side, who do you trust? And who are you fading as it pertains to March? Let's take a look at the AP Top 25 poll and what happened in college basketball last night. One result will surprise you. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Tyreek Hill.
Oh, Lexington's a city, but it ain't so big, it freaks me out. And if I need a breather, I can hit the Parkway. home before the bars all close. Drink away the lies she told. Think about the days. She was a pure-eyed child, a rodeo queen, high school lover in a badass Jeep. Far from the eyes of a watchful town, Mama didn't need to know. Good corn liquor to shake this cold, and good heart loving on a gravel road. Juliet, won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo? Push came down to shove, I'd be a band for her love. Shoot sharp and walk away. She was good before she changed her name, and I bet that ain't all that's changed. Goddamn, I remember the nights. I was a young punk kid from a dried up town, Cold Car County full of hunting hounds. She was the one who kept those boys at bay. Her high heels and my red wing boots, cutting couches in the living room. Juliet, won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo? I can't win for all this losing, I can't see for all this boozing, but by God I can keep it together. Just to hold my baby close, get her moving down a county road, make up for lost time. She was a pure-eyed child, a rodeo queen. She ran on sex and gasoline, far more money than a boy like me could hold. She went off to paint the town, and I'm stuck holding these mountains down. Juliet, won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo? Won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo?
Total Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is a great tweet from Barstool SEC. Hockey Twitter. Damn. My favorite player followed someone I don't like on Instagram. Time to take down my whole shrine to him. College football Twitter. Damn. My favorite player almost killed multiple people going 90-35. Hope he doesn't get benched in our spring game. Been there, man. I remember when I was a kid and Bobby Petrino got fired by the University of Arkansas. I was like, no, give him a second chance. Weeping. Yes, okay, he was having an extramarital affair and hired the lady he was having an affair with to be on his staff. Whatever.
Did it at a restaurant or whatever it was.
And you should know that's
Patino.
bad because when you were a kid, you were reading the Bible.
Yeah, but stuff like that happens in the Bible way more than you would think.
And SpongeBob was the problem.
Yeah, man, there's something about it. It's
Thou shalt not sponge.
The infidelity is what got me. That's followed by a tweet that says, this is from WBR, Hockey Twitter. Oh, I have to take down the shrine of the player I have a crush on because he followed someone I don't like on Instagram. Whereas NBA Twitter, hey, here's a Photoshop I made of SGA as the Iranian Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Yeah, they do that, man. I don't get it, but NBA, they're obsessed with making NBA players these random warlords of the Middle East. Have you seen these edits on TikTok and Twitter, Facebook? They're AIing these NBA stars to be the Middle Eastern cartel. Speaking of, whatever happened in Puerto Vallarta? Did we fix that? Did we put the fires out, or is that dude still stuck in his hotel?
We were talking about it earlier this week, and it's it's so heartbreaking because that's such a beautiful country. Yes. And I don't think, it's all still, I think, going on.
Is it really?
The new leader's an American.
Oh, the new leader of the cartel?
Yeah.
Breaking news?
The American citizen.
I mean, kind of a win for us, right? Somebody out there's going to be taking, I cannot believe he said that. He's supporting the cartel. I'm not. Fret not. I did see, though, there is an American man who is stuck there and very upset. Before we get into our... By the way, we're about to have a lot of college basketball. I'm kind of excited for this. We'll have Josh Graham at 7:40. We'll touch on the March Madness picture, who we trust going into the postseason here in a second. Then Josh Graham joins the show, followed by Talia Goodman, to talk women's basketball at the collegiate level, as well as the WNBA and their CBA. And we have Idiot of the Day. You don't want to miss the Idiot of the Day today, by the way. It's a guy who I respect, who was just kind of an idiot that one time yesterday when he was at the podium talking to people. In the meantime, quickly, incredible things happening in Puerto Vallarta's Marriott subreddit. This is a post from O.S. Taylor. Weston Puerto Vallarta won't honor late checkout with streets closed. So this guy, in the middle of a cartel war in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, decides to take to Reddit and posts, I am a platinum elite. Over 1,000 lifetime Marriott nights. Puerto Vallarta is on fire due to the cartel, setting cars and buses on fire all over the city. The airport's closed. The Ubers and taxis aren't running. I asked for a 4 p.m. checkout, which I'm entitled to based on availability. Remember, Platinum Elite. But they won't extend past 2 p.m. And said we'd have to use the hospitality suite. We're supposed to be leaving for somewhere else this afternoon, but that isn't looking very good. Worst Bonvoy property I've ever experienced. I don't think anyone will be checking in today, so there's no reason to not at least extend us to 4 p.m. Can you imagine the cartel's burning an entire city down? And your first thought is, well, I'm Platinum Elite. Worst hotel experience ever.
So you knew he was a Redditor, the first 3 words.
What does that even mean?
When they have to justify it like that immediately to give their opinion, you know it's a Redditor.
What do you think Josh Graham would say? If we were, just hypothetically, if we were having a conversation about the Redditor who's in Puerto Vallarta and upset that he's Platinum Elite and they won't extend his checkout to 4 p.m. instead of 2 p.m., while the cartel's burning the city. Maybe we'll find out later.
I think
Maybe.
at 7:40 he's gonna tell us about
That'll be
what
the
he
first
would
question
do.
we'll ask him. In the meantime,
he was at the Puerto Vallarta Marriott.
Yeah, we will find out live, boots on the ground from Puerto Vallarta. Josh Graham will join the Drake Toll Show. He's up super early too. Last night in college basketball, Cameron Boozer. He just does what Cameron Boozer does, and that is be great at basketball. I've told you this. Like, I know Jeff Goodman tweeted yesterday, and I know people are coming to the aid of Darren Peterson and saying he's a good kid, and all the coaches we talk to say he's a good kid, he's got a good family, and he's well been on the NBA. And what you also know is in the NFL and the NBA, scouts don't always need you to be a great locker room fit. They don't always need you to be a real stand-up smart guy. They don't need you to be a character addition to your roster. And an example of this is the alarming amount of first-round draft picks that come from the University of Georgia and the NFL who have gone 90 in a 35 and nearly killed people, and then just been drafted in the first round of the NFL draft. We don't always care about the character piece. Sometimes your athleticism will trump that. And I'm not saying it's the direct case as it pertains to Darren Peterson. But you know who I trust more than Darren Peterson? Bill Self. And Bill Self has come to the podium and echoed his frustrations. Like, we can't keep doing it. Dick Vitale said they should get divorced. I trust Dick Vitale, by the way, more than I trust Darren Peterson. They should get divorced. I trust Cameron Boozer, who had 24 points in 24 minutes on 5 for 8 last night. 14 free throw attempts. Physical. More than I trust Darren Peterson. So much so that I would probably draft him above Darren Peterson. What? Yeah. A.J. DeBonsa in that conversation. Darius Acuff Jr., the Arkansas guard, continues to work his way up that list as well as more and more people point at Darren Peterson and say, what is going on here? What is the resolution? What are you doing to Kansas, and why is Bill Self so frustrated with you? Is it because you can't communicate? Is it because your agent, because of the powers above you, are communicating on your behalf? They're doing so in a way that's frustrating to a legendary Hall of Fame coach and a Hall of Fame program? That's not something I want. So, yes, this is me, and we talked about this on Monday. This is me taking a very good story about a very good player, Cameron Boozer, who played really well last night, and somehow making it about Darren Peterson. It's as though the lack of play from Peterson and, honestly, the elite level at which he plays when he does go out on the floor is what's kept him as the top story in college basketball. Elsewhere last night, the Baylor Bears up by double digits. Oh. Sweet Jesus. Weeping. When will there be rest? When will there be restoration in Waco, Texas? Sans Chip and Joanna Gaines. 10-point lead on the number 2 team in the country, the Arizona Wildcats, who have been great this year on account of their youth that has played electric from day one, literally day one, Koa Pete, who, by the way, up until 2-3 weeks ago, was their leading scorer. Now Braden Burries has taken college basketball by storm, also a freshman. A team where Jaden Bradley gets to be the old guy leader. Braden Burries and Koa Pete get to hang out with him and win a lot of basketball games. Was down by 10 again. And they are undefeated 3-0 this season when trailing by 10 or more. They have 3 wins, or they trail by 10 or more. It's Arizona basketball. As for the Baylor Bears, 14-14. You remember Baylor? They won the national championship in 2021. I know. I was there. Indianapolis, Indiana. Final Four. I wore a mask. 25% capacity at Lucas Oil Stadium. They still won it. Oh, man, how the mighty have fallen. Surely they'll hire Jerome Tang, the deposed Kansas State head coach, as a new assistant on their staff. Rehire him, I should say, as he was at Baylor for nearly 2 decades. Iowa State goes on the road 75-59, knocks off Utah. That's also in the Big 12, following that Arizona 87-80 victory in Waco. And Iowa State, Milan Momcilovic to Taman Lipsy. So BYU losing to UCF was a massive storyline. BYU losing Richie Saunders, their star guard, was a bigger storyline. On top of that, if you consider Texas Tech losing JT Toppin, that's 2 top-end Big 12 teams, Texas Tech and BYU, that lose great players. It'd be the equivalent of Iowa State losing a Taman Lipsy. Oh, but here's the good news. They haven't. They didn't. At Iowa State, despite their 10-point loss at BYU on this road trip to Utah. They stayed out in Utah and then played the Utes in Salt Lake City. Despite that, they rallied for a 16-point victory where, you know what? Joshua Jefferson, Milan Momcilovic, Taman Lipsey, even on a night where Lipsey had 7 points. I watched the game yesterday. You know what I kept not thinking? Wow, Taman Lipsey's taking this thing over. No, sometimes because of the consistency of elite play in the starting lineup for Iowa State. You go down 4 guys, 5 guys deep. Onto their bench, their 6th, 7th, 8th men. That team is so spread out, evenly spread out with elite talent, with top-end talent, with old talent, old wins in March, by the way, that Taman Lipsey can score 7 points and facilitate, and they still win by 16 on the road against a Utah team that's at least been scrappy, that's given teams fits, that has a road win against West Virginia. Oh, and the aforementioned Texas Tech playing the giant killer Cincinnati, who makes no sense, and they'll have to fire Wes Miller, even though they've won a few games that scratch your head. They, without their best player, one of the best players in college basketball, have just kept kind of winning. They've been fine. They haven't skipped a total beat, despite losing who I would consider to be the best collegiate basketball player in the Big 12. Do I think that JT Toppin will be an elite NBA player? No, not really. I think he would have probably already done that. But a great college basketball player. And will be a fine NBA player. But without him, Texas Tech knocks off a Cincinnati team that's at the very least scrappy. And then finally, the reason Josh Graham is going to be on the show 5 minutes from now, the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. Undefeated in their college basketball season so far, 28-0, number 1 in the MAC. But I'm hearing they'll be an 11 seed? They haven't lost a game yet. How much should strength of schedule play into where we put Miami of Ohio in the postseason? That's a question only Josh Graham can answer when we return. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
First place in the Big East is on the line.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. I sit blissfully inside of an electric shed. It's like it's detached from the home, and the way the studio, I say studio, the way the studio works, it's an electric shed. It's a shed that has power, and it has 2 ceiling fans, but it's not that big of a shed. It's like 100 square feet total, so I don't know why it has 2 ceiling fans, and a bunch of hooks on the ceiling from whoever owned it last. They're large, like you could hang swings and things from these hooks. And when I bought the house, which the fans don't make any sense still, when I bought the house, there was, pray tell, rumors of, on the island where I live, Wilmington Island, Georgia, that there was a home of these swingers who would have swinger parties. And the shed could have been a place for nefarious acts. I'm starting to realize that the more I look at the hooks and think of these things. And for more on life, love, and the pleasures of existence, Josh Graham, Westwood One Sports, joins the Drake Toll Show. And Josh, in cohesion with bringing this up, the possible sexual nature of the shed that I currently reside in and host the show from, the question arouses, if you will. Will the Miami of Ohio Redhawks remain undefeated going into March Madness?
Going into March Madness.
There's a conference tournament in there, too. Yeah, there's a conference tournament in there.
Yes, they will. If the question is, will they be unbeaten going into March? They win yesterday against Eastern Michigan. They're going to win their next couple of games. But it all sets up. If you like fun action rivalries, it all sets up for the regular season finale next weekend when those Redhawks and Coach Steele visit Athens, Ohio, the metropolis of Athens, Ohio, to face the University of Ohio. And I can see that being an absolute circus. I've been to Athens, Ohio a couple of times. First time I went was in December of a particular year. And I show up and everybody's wearing Santa outfits. Now, listen to what I just told you there, Drake. When I said everybody's wearing Santa outfits, I mean everybody's wearing Santa outfits downtown, and I didn't get the memo. And it was an absolute party. And apparently, it's an annual tradition, like a Santa Fest of some sorts, where everybody, students and people in these towns, wear Santa outfits the entire day. You can look this up.
If I may,
I didn't know.
It's like the most normal thing to ever happen in Ohio, by the way. Run of the mill.
That's it. And then I went to a place, I'll never forget it. I don't know if it still exists anymore, called Big Mama's Burritos. And I went to get a burrito, and they had a huge sign that was hanging above the cashier that this is more than a dozen years ago. I don't know why I remember this so vividly. It's a massive sign that says, "Gimme yo cheddar," right above the cashier. And this is all to say that Miami of Ohio might be in trouble next weekend if they're visiting Athens. If or not that everybody's wearing Santa outfits, if the folks in Athens go to Big Mama's Burritos and then to the Convocation Center or whatever they call it, that might be the game to circle.
Did you, and this would have been circa 2013-ish, if I remember correctly, did you give Big Mama yo cheddar?
Yes.
There it is. Josh Graham, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, has been a part of Arta, by the way. Has been there.
It's true.
We were told by Curtis Poindexter, producer, you know what, honorary producer of the Drake Toll Show, that the new head of the cartel in Puerto Vallarta is from the United States, not Josh Graham. Many were saying not Josh Graham or Frankie McDonald. Both of those guys are exonerated from this conversation. Josh Graham not exonerated from college basketball conversations. The reason
this is a new show, isn't it?
Which part?
No, I mean, I learned something right there. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah. This is, I mean, we are here. When you go to the water cooler today, right, someone's going to say, hey, do you see the Darren Peterson deal? This thing's crazy. I want you to know, number one, about Darren Peterson and why it's crazy and how to have an educated thought. Number two, I want you to say, hey, what's crazier is they just appointed an American from the United States as the head of the cartel in Puerto Vallarta. That's what you need to know. And also, I think that the country should care about this Miami of Ohio deal because they are undefeated. And if you think, I don't even know, I couldn't name a single player, couldn't name you don't have to. It's the beauty of this time of year and why we love college basketball. Teams like Miami of Ohio can steal the spotlight, even if they're not winning games and tearing through March. Tonight, though,
it is interesting you bring up the word steal though, because there are a lot of teams in college basketball that are like, please win the MAC. Because if you get to the tournament, the MAC tournament, and you lose a game, then you're good. You're good with one loss, and right now you're 21st or 22nd in the country. And then somebody else is going to get in that probably would not get in otherwise, and that's going to lead to some consternation and some debate about expansion.
So on that, I want to talk about the bubble and where we sit on the bubble in college basketball going into March. But right before we get to that, St. John's, UConn tonight, Big East, big clash. Here's a stupid question, but I think it's secretly a smart question. Does it really matter who wins this game?
Yes.
Okay.
It matters who wins the game.
Okay.
Because this isn't the NBA. This is college basketball where you play 31 regular season games and there's urgency. And UConn lost to St. John's the last time these guys took the floor. So I want to see UConn look the part, because when you look at this roster, Drake Toll, you're like, this looks like a team that's designed in a lab to win in March. Oh, we got two really good guards. It's Silas DeMary and we got Solo Ball, and we got a big guy in the middle and Terrace Reed, and we got the best coach of college basketball. It looks like a team that's supposed to be, as the kids say, him. That's what you think a championship team should look like. But they haven't looked that way. And frankly, other than Duke the last couple of weeks, nobody's really looked like that. I mean, the first half, you were talking about Arizona and Baylor. Arizona. On Sunday, when I looked at the AP poll, after all the chaos we saw in the weekend, I realized that every single team that was ranked at the top 10 this weekend has lost a college basketball game in the last 2 weeks, last 15 days. Every single team that's ranked in the top 10, even Duke. I was at the game where Seth Trimble of North Carolina hit the shot at the buzzer against Duke, and, we'll see what happens when they rematch next week. A game, by the way, that's on Westwood One Sports. Throw that out there. I love this time of year, but I also love for the people that are parachuting in on March right now, or parachuting on college basketball because they only follow this time of year, that this isn't what it was a year ago. A year ago, there were 4 teams that could win the national championship. Those 4 teams that went to the Final Four were teams that were all-time KenPom teams, ranked in the top 10 KenPom, and those were the teams that could win it. This year, I count 12 or 13 that could, and that's what makes it a lot more fun.
I would have had BYU and Texas Tech in that conversation, and BYU was not necessarily consistent even with Richie Saunders. They had their question marks still. I think without JT Toppin and without Richie Saunders for those 2 rosters, Texas Tech and then BYU respectively, that those teams are out of contention in that 12. Agreed?
I agree. I have 13, and the 13th one is North Carolina if Caleb Wilson's healthy.
Yeah,
but that's an if. He needs to come back. The other 12, honestly, there are 8 that I love more than anybody else. There are 4 teams that I can't write off. I just don't know what to do with. I don't know what to do with Nebraska. I really don't know what to do with Kansas. That seems like a team that's going to lose in the round of 64 or going to win it all. Yeah. I don't know what to do with a few of these teams. I don't know what to do with Gonzaga. I don't know. But that's the fun of it. One of those teams could go on a run.
It's Josh Graham joining the Drake Toll Show here, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Last thing I got for you, the SEC has been, by most metrics, namely when they're playing teams out of conference, not great because of the teams they played out of conference and lost to. Like they're losing at a pretty solid rate to the Big 12, the ACC, the Big 10. They're not having success against other leagues, but they are having success against each other. Actually today, as of February 25th, if you combine the conference record of every SEC team, they're right at 500, Josh, which is crazy. Weird, as are the Big 12, the Big 10, and the ACC. It's almost as if your conference slate, everyone's going to finish at 500. You combine the whole thing, and we can't learn a ton about the teams at the bottom unless they're, winning at a consistent level. And they're at the bottom for a reason because they're not winning at a consistent level. So why do we have 11 SEC teams in there but 8 ACC teams or 8 Big 12 teams? Why is there so much love for the depth of the SEC?
Don't get me started on this, Drake. It's every year I look at this and I'm like, why do we have so many Big 10 teams? The Big 10 hasn't won a national title in college basketball since the year 2000.
Oh.
Are you kidding me? We do this every single year. I'll make another call to the Utes. It feels like, I'm like the fish in SpongeBob yelling, "Wow, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?"
Couldn't watch SpongeBob when I was a kid, so that was already a major talking point in today's show, but continue.
You also couldn't watch the Big Ten win a national title as a kid either.
Bang, wasn't born.
So that's it. Like at the SEC, this goes back again to there are people that parachute on the sport that don't know anything about the sport until this time of year and might just assume that the SEC is as good as they were a year ago. The SEC got 14 of 16 teams into the tournament a year ago. This year, you're right. They might just get 11, but the league, until Florida was ranked in the top 10 on Monday, they didn't have a top 10 team ranked. So you might only have them as a potential contender, and they're not one of the top contenders. So to your point, the ACC, the Big 12, the leagues that actually do win national championships, they're going to get less teams in, but they got more contenders.
Josh Graham, as you know, we have a hard out in 56 seconds.
I'm
what
aware.
are you talking about on tonight's show? Where can folks find more of you on Westwood One?
I don't know. It's super late. It's going to be me and Linnell Willingham tonight, but I'm being told by my sources, John Shire, Duke basketball coach, is going to join us on tomorrow's program.
Bang.
The head coach of the number 1 team in the land.
I can only hope that you will cook pancakes on that show.
It works, man. That's what they want. Give the people what they want.
That is Josh Graham, Westwood One Sports. Find him tonight with Linnell Willingham and then through the weekend. Josh, thanks so much for your time.
See ya.
All right. Idiot of the Day is coming up. That's right. And guess what? I'm not on the list today. I didn't make it. I'm not an Idiot of the Day. Sponsored by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving all branches of the armed services, veterans and their families. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. Our members are the mission. This is the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.
Oh! 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 All the shorties in the club, let me see you just back it up, drop it down, let me see you just.
It's the Drake Toll Show.
Let me see you just push it up, let me see you just.
Wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble. Yeah.
Drake Toll with you. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Get in there. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Do you think when he says, hey, big girl, back it up? Is that like an offensive thing?
No. I think it's more of like a baby got back kind of deal.
Oh.
Like a thick with 2 C's.
Yeah, because, in the Digital Underground's Humpty Dance, he says, hey, yo, fat girl, come here, are you ticklish? Yeah, I called you fat. Look at me, I'm skinny. It never stopped me from getting busy. And I don't think he's calling her like, I think he's like P-H-A-T fat. What my friend Digital Underground's going for here.
Talking to Luca.
Yeah. Yeah, Luka Doncic. Hey, yo, fat girl, come here, are you ticklish? One of the wildest lines in music history, by the way. The wobble, who's it by? Who's it by?
I don't know.
I know. I didn't know either until today. Vic, V-I-C.
Okay.
It's spelled out like initials, V-I-C. So. Oh! Boom. Oh!
It's very like Sir Mix-a-Lot. Like, have you heard
Yeah.
Bark If You Want It? Love it. So good.
For sure. Curtis, what is it like to have not had the wobble at your middle school dances? Because that went multi-platinum at the middle school dance in 2011.
Well, there'd be problems if I was at a middle school in 2011. I'd probably get arrested.
He had a restraining order at the time. Just couldn't go to middle school.
When you were in middle school then, well prior to 2011, what song did they play when they did what was the exam? No, better question.
What you're trying to...
When was the wobble introduced into your psyche and how?
Never heard it, but if it's 2011, that's right when I graduated high
You've
school.
never heard the wobble until just now?
Yeah, I never listened to...
That's a serious problem.
Wobble it, and I'ma gobble it.
Somewhere out there. Boise, Idaho. I also have never heard the wobble. Get that off my radio. Just him and Curtis. Those two guys hang
I like the Wiggle Wiggle song.
Oh,
Wiggle.
Jason Derulo. with Wiggle Wiggle Wiggle.
No, the song that was new when I was in middle school was Get Low with Lil Jon. That's how old I am.
Yeah.
To the window, to the walls. Briefly, I'll tell this story in full one day, but I was inebriated using the urinal in Cabo, Mexico, circa 2023. Spring break, senior year of college. Bang. That just sounds cool, doesn't it? Oh, look, guys, he's cool. And I'm using the urinal at this little beach bar on the water, on the ocean. One of those where, like, the lady comes around and she pours shots, and then she grabs your nipples.
Touch yourself.
You ever seen these? It's like a Senior Frogs. That's what they do. She walks around with shots. You have to pay cash for it, and then she gives you a shot, and then she just grabs your chest if you're a male.
Oh, I was about to say, I don't think I've ever had. Yeah, I just.
No. They wouldn't do it to you. They wouldn't do it to you. It's just for the guys, just for the shirtless guys. I'm in the urinal at that place in this little Cocobongo or whatever it was called, and I see a poster on the wall that says, Lil Jon, March 18, 8 p.m. The day that I found that poster was March 17. And I stumbled out of there, pants half down. I was like, guys, Lil Jon's going to be here tomorrow. We got to go. We did. We went. And he didn't come on until 11:30. We got there at 7 for his 8 o'clock show. He came on at 11:30. So by then, we're emaciated. Your body has deteriorated to a nothingness. And Lil Jon came out, 52 years old at the time. I did not know. I was not familiar with Lil Jon's age. And he walked out there with a bottle of Hennessy. And the first thing he said on that microphone was, yeah. And my soul left my body. That was it. Top 5 moment of my entire life.
Like, has to come out and say that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Contractually obligated.
And then he, opened up. He did, yeah. And then what's the one he sings? Not Get Low. What's the other one?
Snap
Come
your
on.
fingers.
Snap your fingers, do the step. Stop your finger. I was like, wow, this is
You
irreplaceable.
do it all by yourself.
I can do it all by no amount of money. It was an open bar and a ticket for like $45, which in college was so expensive. But no amount of money could replace that moment in my life. Yeah. It made me who I am today. Time for Idiot of the Day.
Idiot of the day.
Bow. Bow. This is for Adam Black or Chris Black, or one of them's Chris, one of them's Adam. That's me being facetious. I know their names, and I love them both, and they love this song. Idiot of the Day, number 1. I'm confused by this, by the way. I don't understand. So there's the girl who skied for the Chinese Olympic team. You've seen this, Addie?
Yep.
I don't know if I really care that much, by the way. Other people do, and their amount of caring has led to Boomer Esiason going on the radio and saying some really wild things. Here is that audio for our first Idiot of the Day.
Mother's Chinese, and a mother is obviously she came here, and I guess there's some loophole that allows her to participate for China, and the Chinese government paid her a lot of money. It's kind of funny that a communist country would pay a woman to be propaganda as a capitalist.
And I heard she got $6 million for going there, and I heard the sponsorship over the last year. She got $23 million from different Chinese sponsors.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, so she's a very, very attractive woman, and she's extremely bright. She went to Stanford, but if you listen to her post, participation interviews, she's insufferable. She is. It's hard to listen to, but then again, it's an individual sport by an individual person talking about herself, as opposed to talking about her teammates or the support that she receives.
I mean,
All right, cut the tape. What are we doing? All right, number 1, she's hot. Number 2, she went to Stanford. Smart. But she went to China. So when I hear her talk, all I can think is stupid. Okay, let's be honest. If you were, this is foolproof. If you're working at KPMG, which, by the way, I don't know if you saw this, but Winter Olympians, they are plumbers. Like Larry Bird was playing against plumbers and mailmen. The Winter Olympics are literally plumbers, dentists, and mailmen. And if you are doing your life's work, what you love to do, like you work at KPMG or Merrill Lynch, and you get a call from Deloitte. These are accounting firms, by the way. Boring. And Deloitte, sorry if you work at those. Maybe you love your job. And Deloitte calls you and they say, hey, you're making how much? You say, oh, I'm making $500,000 for my job at Merrill Lynch. Deloitte says, all right, what about $6 million? What would you do? Put yourself in that position. Put yourself in that position. You've been offered $6 million, a $5.5 million upgrade from the $500,000 you're making right now. Addie, what would you do?
I'd take it. Take the money and run.
Curtis, what would you do?
I would leave in the middle of this show and not come back.
100%. I too would join I would join Live Golf in this situation. And I would go work at Deloitte. So when America said, hey, we'll pay you to ski for us $33 and a pack of spearmint gum, China said, what about $6 million? She said, okay, my mom's Chinese. I can just ski for China. And now Boomer Esiason says, she's so hot. And she's smart. But I hate listening to her because of China. Okay, great. Like, dog, sometimes you just make a business decision for your financial well-being for the rest of your life. Idiot of the day, Darren Peterson. This one can just apply at all times. Here's what Kelvin Sampson had to say at his press conference after Kansas and Houston played a couple nights ago, and Darren Peterson following Kelvin Sampson's comments.
So Kansas is one of those teams that you just never know, but they're pretty good. So are we. We're pretty good too. Maybe not tonight, but we're pretty good.
What do you mean by Kansas? You never know what that means.
That's what Houston's coach said. He said Kansas, you just never know.
I like that.
Kelvin Sampson saying when you're playing Kansas, you just never know about Darren Peterson. You just don't know who you're going to get, what kind of Kansas you're going to get. Darren Peterson said, I don't like that. Don't say that about me. Well, yeah, Darren Peterson, you don't know what Kansas is going to throw at you because it's whether or not you want to play tonight. Gross. Idiot of the day. This is tough, man. This is tough. Last year was Abracadabra, was Final Four March Madness. Abracadabra, mama. Remember, in and out of commercials, that's what we'll play every time. Lady Gaga, Abracadabra. And it was catchy. I didn't hate it. It was just like, all right, Lady Gaga, cool, sweet, nice. This year, they have chosen for the March Madness song that will play ad nauseum 1 million times in your brain for a month and a half. It's going to be Give It Away by the Zac Brown Band. That is this year's anthem for March Madness on CBS and TNT. Here's a snippet of what Give It Away by the Zac Brown Band sounds like.
Welcome to March. Let's dance. Every night, we should be dancing. We got a short time to give it away. Give it away. Anything can happen in March.
Can you play that again, please? Can I get a second listen on that?
Welcome to March. Let's dance. Every night, we should be dancing. We got a short time to give it away. Give it away. Anything can happen in March.
Is that real? Yeah.
Do you
well,
know the song Open the Gate by Zach Bryan?
Yeah.
Is that not just the same cadence?
What are we giving away, by the way?
Possession
Up
of
to
the basketball.
interpretation. Yes.
Right. We turning the ball over?
Yes, that's why it's awful.
I just want to drink my truck and drive my deer and pet my dog and live right here.
I just want to fish and hunt.
Who made that the national anthem of March Madness? Hold on, one more time. Can I hear it again? I can't believe I would have to hear this every game. One more time, please.
Welcome to March. Let's dance. Every night, we should be dancing. We got a short time to give it away. Give it away. Anything can happen in March.
Something like every night. We're out here dancing.
So did they only do it because they say the word dancing once?
I don't know. Why? Again,
I actually like Stomp and Tickle more than Give It Away.
Like Abracadabra was like Abracadabra, hula la. Like you're just kind of like, yeah, all right, cool, Lady Gaga. And that's the only part of the song that ever played. Was just that little snippet, that melody, in and out of commercial. You're like, oh, whatever, cool. I was on a CBS March Madness commercial one year, by the way. Really cool. When I was in the stands as a fan. Awesome. I'll show you the
Congratulations.
video sometimes. Thanks. The lyrics to Give It Away by Zac Brown Band. Yeah, we talk too much. Maybe we should be listening. And the brakes worn out on the human condition. All in all, we let go when we can. Slow it down. This just might be our chance. And then the chorus is, every night, baby, we should be dancing. So I think Curtis is right. They just said dancing. And the March Madness CBS guys are like, oh, they said the word. Oh, there it is. Every old chain breaking away. We got a long life, but we got good love. We got a short time to give it away. Give it away, give it away. We got a long life, but we got good love. We got a short time to give it away.
Kind of wish they would have just done Give It Away by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
What on God's earth does this have to do with March Madness? And it's not even catchy.
Give it away. Open the gate. Sorry, it's the same thing.
That's what they're doing to the viewers. They're giving them away.
Yeah, just give it away. There's that one as well. George Strait, I'm pretty sure. Troubadour. Final idiot of the day. The Los Angeles Angels. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. The Angels don't have radar guns in their bullpens to measure velocity. Maddox said the movement on Manoah's pitches and his bullpens have been really good. They're like, hey, Maddox, what's his velo? We don't have that. Maddox said his fastball averaged 93.3 miles per hour. but also they don't have radar guns. So there's eye test.
Not in the budget.
How do you not have velo guns?
Look at where they finish in the division every year.
Gun control. I said gun control to a new level. And you know what? PETA's right. No more bullpen. It's the arm barn now. No radar guns on the arm barn. And then one extra. Idiot of the day, then Talia Goodman joins the show. Yahoo Sports tweets, none of the Jeopardy contestants knew who SGA was. SGA won MVP and the NBA championship last season. Oops. This is why you have to nerd max. Don't exclude sports from your nerdage. Don't exclude sports. Talia Goodman joins to talk women's basketball at the collegiate level, and also, hey, wait a second. You're out there thinking, oh, the WNBA collective bargaining agreement means nothing to me. Here's why it does mean something to you. Here's why it does. Here's why this has an impact on you. You think, no, it doesn't. It does. I can explain. When Talia Goodman joins the show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Our naked bodies go on trial just for laughing at the joke, just for saying of the bargain what any sales girl already knows. Most of us old men die at the firing line, just waiting for our number to be called. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Now the king gets his stepson when he's loaded as a gun. Says a real man is like a country. You need a map to find your one. Now I do you suppose you must approach the throne with its back up against the wall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Minds of my generation, glad they conscripted in the war of defending any Goliath that would deign darken the door. Now with your genius for picking battles, it's no wonder every helmet is too small. I guess time just makes fools of us all. I guess time just makes fools of us all. My drink is watered down. The champ is on his knees. He lost the rematch. He lost the comeback. He lost for charity, but that's the job. It's what gets the asses in the hall. They came for a beating, and he came to brawl. notice that of all the young gods I have known, yours is easily the least famous to turn down the cover of a Rolling Stone. Lily white faces, so familiar and yet impossible to recall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. After millennia of good times, God said, hey now, let's have a dream where we raise the stakes a little. Come on, let's make things interesting. Parachute into the Anthropocene, an amnesiac, a himbo Kendall. I guess time does make fools of us all.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Remember in 2015 when the Denver Broncos played the Carolina Panthers in the Super Bowl 50? And you would listen to it on Westwood One. Like you're driving your car, you're listening to the Super Bowl. And now, all of a sudden, bang, 24/7 radio. And the top storylines in sports this week have come from the women's game, whether it be basketball, hockey, the Olympics altogether. The top storylines have come from women in sports. And there are a myriad of reasons. If you're that guy out there, well, I don't even want to watch the NBA, I don't watch WNBA, I don't watch women's basketball. There are a myriad of reasons to care even if you don't want to. And one of those reasons that we'll get to in the WNBA is a collective bargaining agreement. But first, in college basketball, there is dominance, there is greatness to behold. And Talia Goodman joins the Drake Toll Show to help us break it down. You can find her on socials right now, talking all things women's basketball and across the sport at Talia Goodman, WBB. Talia, let's start with the, you have to, right? The UConn Huskies. Is there anybody, there's no one in the Big East, is there anybody in March that is going to stop Gino Auriemma's basketball team?
There is one team in the country that I think has a chance of stopping UConn, and we won't very likely see if that's possible until the title game, because it's they're going to be the number 2 overall seed. It's going to be UCLA. And I think besides UConn, and maybe even similarly to UConn in a tier system, they're just as loaded. They have several future WNBA stars that we're going to see, and great coaching, and they've reached kind of that what you view as a peak this year. They have pretty much all seniors. They're all done after this year. They're playing for a title. That is what they're here for. And they've dominated pretty much every game they played in, other than that one loss against, number 4 ranked Texas early in the year in November. So I think they're the only one I could reasonably see playing, at an even level with UConn. Not to say there won't be an upset. Michigan played them close early in the year, but I think UCLA is the only one that I see on the same tier as them.
Talia, instead of hovering around the top end of women's college basketball here, I want to go to the Big 12, where I think if folks have not been watching women's basketball in the Big 12 this season, they're missing out. 5 years ago, it was Baylor and Texas, and then everybody else was leagues behind. This year, Texas Tech could beat TCU any given night. Baylor could beat West Virginia or lose to West Virginia any given night. Those top 4 teams atop the Big 12, Texas Tech, West Virginia, Baylor, TCU, is there a chance any of those teams can make an Elite 8 or Final 4 run in March, given how they're playing right now?
I don't see a Final Four in the future for any of them. I think we saw what TCU is capable of doing in March last year, so they're the one, I would have on the top of my list. Obviously, completely new personnel, but with Mark Campbell kind of heading that program, he's done such a good job getting the right pieces. And it's been a little bit more turbulent this year, figuring it out. They have almost a dozen new players. So it's going to take some time. And the parity in the Big 12 is greater than the parity in any other league right now, I would say. TCU is the one I kind of see on top of that. West Virginia, I think, has been making really big strides, and I'm excited to see what they can do, but I see probably a Sweet 16 as that ceiling for them.
I know that, and not even returning to that top 4 here, but at least that top 10, because it feels like in that range of Vanderbilt down to Louisville, your final 4 teams going to come from UConn down to Louisville, a top 10 team right now in the AP poll. If you're looking at a Vanderbilt, looking at a Michigan, an LSU, or Oklahoma, which of those teams on the back end of the top 10 could knock off UConn, UCLA, South Carolina, Tech? Which of those teams has the best shot to make waves and actually make the Final Four?
It's interesting because so many of those teams that you just mentioned, right, are SEC teams, and we've seen those teams beat each other up kind of all year. And this is what I've been saying. Like, it's not – the rankings aren't necessarily the rankings that you see in the results that we're seeing, because it's all about matchups in the SEC. It completely is. Like, we've seen Texas matches up well against South Carolina. Texas does not match up very well against Vanderbilt. So it kind of depends who these teams wind up facing. But if I had to pick one, I think Vanderbilt looks the most dangerous throughout the entirety of their season, with the weapons that they have, with the coaching that they have with Shea Ralph. This just feels like they came almost out of nowhere this year. They were picked kind of in the teens in the preseason and have been able to dominate almost everyone they've played. They've had a few kind of blips here and there, but overall they've looked like that third best SEC team right now.
We've talked in the past about it, and in past years, about these conferences beating each other up. The SEC has been a great example of that the last, now probably going on a decade. And it's a question we get to each March, whether or not that level of competition wears you out going into the tournament. Do you think that UCLA and UConn, who are by and large rolling through teams, despite how deep the Big Ten is, UCLA is making good work of them. Do you think UConn and UCLA having less tight contests than, say, Texas or South Carolina gives them a leg up, a freshness going into the tournament?
UConn, yes. I think Big East basketball is fun when you're not watching UConn play one of them, because it's always going to end the same way. But they just don't have much to worry about throughout games. Like, they can. Like, there's a game where Sarah Strong, sat out, and she can do that. Like, you don't really have to worry too much about it. UCLA, I mean, I'd argue, like, yes, they're pretty far miles ahead of most of the other teams in the Big Ten. But the Big Ten is so deep that, like, you do still have to worry about some of these teams catching up to you. Like, they played in Michigan pretty close the other day. And there are teams that can just sneak up on you in the Big Ten because it is so deep, like from top to bottom. You see it happening almost every night. So I think UConn, I'd say absolutely. UCLA, I think it depends. I think the Big Ten tournament could, wear on them a little bit, but we'll see.
Pulling away from the top 10, even the top 20, there has been conversation about where Tennessee sits in the national rank and where they sit as it pertains to March Madness. I saw one analyst had them out, like that they might miss the tournament altogether. Yeah. Is that a remote possibility that Tennessee is not dancing?
No. I mean, I think people are over, dramatizing what's happening right now and what they've done up to this point. Like, yes, it's been kind of full of disaster these past few weeks for Tennessee. It has been. But a season is not just a few weeks. They had some of that body of work before this. And you think about teams that are going to get in, like the Georgias and the Alabamas, and like teams that they've beaten that are going to get in, and you compare them to these teams, and they're similar, if not better, in all of, the metrics that the committee uses, which, I'm not saying that's how you should necessarily decide if a team gets in, but it's how they do. And so you look at the things that they're looking at and you go, Tennessee is right there, if not better, than almost every single bubble team. They're absolutely getting in. And their struggles should be reflected in their seeding, but it should not reflect whether they're an at-large or not.
Elsewhere around the bubble in that conversation, again, Talia Goodman joins the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, at Talia Goodman, WBB on Twitter. If you follow women's college basketball, obviously you do, but those that are listening, South Dakota, always good. Like, they're up there, right? They beat Baylor a couple years ago in the NCAA tournament, have a couple wins under their belt, and they look really good this year. but they're not, to me at least, in that rank of mid majors who could make noise. Whereas a Fairfield, a Princeton, and North Dakota State could. Who is that team that could pull a South Dakota and go on a mini run out of the mid major ranks and surprise a lot of people?
I mean, all year I've thought it could be Rhode Island. They managed a really impressive road win at NC State this year, and NC State didn't turn out to be quite as good as we all thought they would, but they're still certainly a tournament team and a team that kind of seeding wise they could wind up matching up with again. They probably won't, but a team like them. And so you look at what they were able to do in non-conference play. They don't have any bad losses there. They had one bad loss in conference play. Other than that, kind of eased through it all in a really loaded A10. And I think they are one that could make some noise. I don't know how far of a run they could really go on, but they're very well coached. They have the talent. They have young players who are just like hungry for those wins. So they're one that I'd certainly look at. And, like you mentioned Fairfield, and they've had some rough appearances the last few years, but they've made it the last few years. And I feel like they are just really yearning to get past that first round blowout they've had the last few years. So depending on who they end up getting matched up with, if they make the tournament, they're one I'd be interested to watch.
Talia, I'll leave you with this one. We're super grateful for your time on the Drake Toll Show today. I know you spend a ton of time covering women's college basketball, but at the WNBA ranks, we talked at length yesterday about this collective bargaining agreement. And the thing that I laid out, there will be listeners. I grew up in Valonia, Arkansas, where by and large the population didn't watch the WNBA. And they didn't watch it because they didn't understand it. They didn't want to take time to. It's easier to hate something than to try to understand it. And what I think a lot of people are missing is what the players are asking for is shared revenue. They're not asking for money that doesn't exist. They're not asking for money despite being in the red. They're making more money now than ever, and they're asking for a fair cut of that pie. They're asking for a fair sum of that money. If you worked at Deloitte or Goldman Sachs, you'd want a portion of the money you help bring in for the company. That's how it works in the corporate world. Talia, what can people expect with this collective bargaining agreement? Is that really the root of the issue, is just players asking to be paid what they're truly worth?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a big chunk of it, and we saw the other day, I think maybe just yesterday, they put out that they generated enough revenue last year to prompt that revenue sharing. So all the teams will get, I think it's a cut of, or I think they'll all get $8 million to give to their players, which, it is a lot of money comparatively to what they're making right now. So I think it is just like, you look at the salaries, you look at what they can make in other places, like Unrivaled right now where they're playing, and they want to feel like a draw to the WNBA. You don't want to feel like you're making, more money somewhere else, and that you don't want to play in the W, because the W is growing so fast, right? But it needs to be, not just, yes, they're making like livable wages, but they want to feel like they're getting what they deserve.
I lied to you. I'm going to sneak one in there for free. The last one for you. As NIL develops in women's college basketball, and there are programs that are willing to pay top dollar to win at the highest level, you're seeing it in like Texas Tech softball is an example of this. There are donors that want to win. They want to see their school win at the top level. Will there come a day where collegiate women's basketball players stick around for a year or two extra and defer the WNBA because of the way NIL is panning out?
That has started to happen. That day is here, basically. There are players who took their, fifth year that they had this year because they know first of all, they know they're going to make more this year than they are in the WNBA. And because of all that's going on with the WNBA right now, they didn't want to kind of put themselves into that situation, right, where it's kind of unknown. So we're seeing that start to happen now. They're certainly, at the base level, I would say, making more than they would make like if you're a star and you want to play basketball, you're probably going to make more in college than you are in the WNBA right now. And so I think that's kind of another source of the problem, right, for the W, but it certainly helps me covering the college game because I get these star players for more years.
That is so crazy, but it's the state of college athletics, the WNBA, and where we sit as far as NIL goes. Talia Goodman, thank you so much for your time and joining the Drake Toll Show.
Thanks for having me.
Again, find her work at Talia, Talia Goodman, WBB on Twitter, following National Women's College Basketball for On3 and Rivals. Yeah, man, I mean, again, I want to double down on that a little bit. If you didn't think you were interested in the WNBA, I'm not going to ask you or demand, and look, there are WNBA games or women's college basketball games that I watch, and I think, man, that was really entertaining. And also, there are women's college basketball games and WNBA games that I watch and I think, that kind of sucked. It was like a rock fight. Sloppy, gross. But guess what? Guess what? There are college basketball games on the men's side. A ton of NBA games that I watched, and I think that was mucked up. I didn't enjoy watching it. That was gross. The product of the sport can oftentimes, in your psyche, sway itself in your enjoyment based on your premonition. Do you enter the viewing experience expecting it to be bad? Well, if you do, then it will likely be bad. But I'm not going to sit here and be the guy who says, "Oh, you missed a great game in women's college basketball, the WNBA last night. You should have been watching it. You got to watch it. If you're a good person, you're going to watch this." No, because guess what? I don't like watching lacrosse. I've got a couple buddies that they love. All they talk about is college lacrosse. College lacrosse. It's the best. We love college lacrosse. When it's on, we're watching it. They don't demand that I watch it. I don't want to. Not my cup of tea. Not my forte. I'm not going to demand you watch this, but I will say where we can all relate to this is when you are making money for an organization, when you are bringing in hand over fist, big-time dollar signs, wanting a cut of that, wanting a commission on that, wanting a revenue-sharing outlet for that makes a whole lot of sense. Wanting to share with your team, by the way, and in this case, a literal team, not just we're a corporate team together. Wanting to share with your teammates the joys of winning and revenue and making money at an all-time level. I get that. You should get that too. We're not asking them. The WNBA players aren't asking for money that doesn't exist. Pay us. You must pay us. Yeah, we're losing millions and millions of dollars every year, but pay us. No, it's not the way it's going. They're making money. They just want to be paid fairly. And you know what? I can get behind that because I like being paid fairly, personally. Yeah. When we return, quarterbacks, the National Football League, 8 different teams, more than that, but the 8 storylines I'm following closely, featuring Kyler Murray and Kirk Cousins, 8 different teams are in some serious quarterback purgatory. Where will Kyler be? Where will Kirk Cousins be? What is Aaron Rodgers doing today? This is the Drake Toll Show.
Tyreek Hill has been...
If you want to feel better, don't let the devil make you toss this letter. If you've been crushed up by voodoo, the wizard or the lizard, you got family trouble, man trouble, woman trouble, no night through the rubble. You're looking for a true friend or a true lover, or if you've been living undercover, well, I'm coming to your town to break it all down and help you with all of this. I'm looking to help you find bliss. One day, one way, can't miss. I'm here to tear all the walls down. Doesn't matter if it's a large town or a small town. Just like Joshua and the fabled walls of Jericho, I'm here to tear down the institution. God spoke to me, said, listen to me. I anoint you with the power that'll get them all moving. You're agitated, you're prayed and meditated, you're concentrated on getting elevated. By sundown, one day, you who come will be blessed with a big money blessing. You will be doubted by all the unbelievers on all of the things I'm addressing. But you must tell 7 friends. You must first bring 7 friends. And don't be selfish and keep this all to yourself and don't eat shellfish. Hate is trying to take someone else's love for yourself. But I'm here to tell you that love is trying to help someone else. I realize that you have tried and are just about ready to give up. But I got good news for you. God has spoken in my mind and told me to tell you to get moving in the right direction for a change. I'm gonna put you in the fast lane. You need to see me right away so I can fix this up. You need to see me right away. You need to see me right away so I can fix this up. You need to see me right about now. Count 7, open up the windows of heaven and pour out a rich and mighty blessing. Not on this town or her town, but your town. Are you ready for the message? I have a special special financial blessing that once I have placed in your hand. Yeah, I want you to begin using this blessing on the very first day that you can. And if you are suffering a strange sickness, or someone is blocking up all of your success, you need to see me right away so I can fix this. Sound sincerely yours in faith, love, and peace, your friend Archbishop Harold Holmes.
I got a sweet little body and she's rolling in the caddy with me. I got a sweet little body and she's rolling in the caddy with me.
I have bad news. Can we get a breaking news, please? I'm being reminded that we have a myriad of affiliates in Canada. And a listener in Vancouver sent me a direct message that says he enjoys the show. Were we a little mean to Canada earlier this week?
You were.
Should I have been nicer to our Canadian affiliates? You know, like, did it best represent the people who listen to the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, to rub in their face that the United States won gold in their sport? What does that mean?
No. I don't know. What is
Okay.
mean is playing that random She's from Texas song in the beginning of this segment.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. That was on me.
Okay,
I was just I was reading the message and I scrolled out of it and then some LLM.
See that?
Brother, this guy stinks!
What's that from?
Losers from SpongeBob.
Sping Bing.
Spoot boot.
There are thieves among us. There are losers, idiots. There are saints, there are sinners. And then There are NFL quarterbacks who have no idea where the hell they're going to play next season, and of which those are many. Maybe my most curious one is where Aaron Rodgers is today. Think of it. Think of it yourself. You, Barry in Hudson, Wisconsin, listening on our affiliate. John from Kirkland, Washington. Lest ye forget Donald in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Put yourself in the shoes of one Aaron Rodgers. It is Wednesday, February 25th, the year of our Lord 2026, 8 a.m., 45 minutes, and 23 seconds Eastern Time. What are you doing? What is Aaron Rodgers doing right now? Is he high? Is he sleepy? Is he maybe discovering himself through the art of the Quran, the Torah, possibly? Could he be reading of the escapades of Aaron, brother of Moses, who had helped lead the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt? They were being held captive. And I don't know if you knew this, but Aaron Rodgers is reading about it right now and learning that Moses had a stutter. So his brother Aaron had to communicate with Pharaoh to, set the Israelites free. Let my people go. You think Aaron Rodgers is learning about that? Do you think he's straight up, it? And by it, I mean, who's to say? But I wonder, it's February 25th of 2026, like the same year that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to play football games. We're not that far away from football season being here again, folks. We're what, 6 months away from football being played again? From the preseason? We're a couple of weeks away from free agency? And I got no idea what the hell Aaron Rodgers is doing. I have no idea who Mike McCarthy's quarterback is going to be at Acrisure Stadium next season. Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life. I made the terrible mistake. By the way, Steelers and Cowboys fans shouldn't hate each other. Hot take. Correct take. Well, of course I hate them because in the 90s, no. Neither of them have been relevant enough. The Cowboys mostly have not been relevant enough. They have been just like, almost parallel to the Pittsburgh Steelers. No, they have not. A little bit. The difference being Pittsburgh's had more success in the postseason, no doubt. But in the last decade especially, it's been good regular season, losing the playoffs. Good regular season, losing the playoffs. Two fan bases that are certainly storied, but in the last 15 years, what have you done for me lately? I wore a Cowboys jersey to a Steelers bar in Savannah, Georgia, where they played that song. I was told to never wear that jersey in there again. Never again. Like, all right, grow up. Steelers could bring Rodgers back. I wasn't that blown away by it. I didn't think he was a Super Bowl caliber. I didn't think he was a playoff contending quarterback. But they're kind of stuck from a money standpoint. Maybe they'll have to add Ty Simpson or Carson Beck. How sexy is that, Steelers fans? You get Carson Beck. Congratulations. I've been saying, someone's going to win the Ty Simpson lottery. Could be you. The Falcons are releasing Kirk Cousins, by the way. And they still won't commit to Michael Penix as their starter. Possibly because Malik Willis exists. Who died? I told you I hate when radio hosts yell. I don't like that very much. I don't think it's as a listener, I'm not here for the guy to yell at me all day. I'm not here to listen to screaming. But who died? Sorry for yelling. And made Malik Willis the savior of the National Football League? Who died and decided all of a sudden that Malik Willis is an elite quarterback in the league? What happened? What did I miss? Oh, a couple good games here and there. I watched Green Bay and Baltimore. I saw Malik Willis play well. So what? Enough to replace Kirk Cousins, who's at least serviceable. Michael Penix, who you've given no legitimate shot with a roster that's conducive to winning. Well, he has Kyle Pitts. Malik Willis is the guy who's going to turn it around and fix it. Kyler Murray is the guy who's going to turn it around and fix it. The Vikings won't commit to J.J. McCarthy. Idiots. What if we devise a plan? The plan, we'll get rid of our good quarterback, Sam Darnold, that led a hapless team to the playoffs. We'll get J.J. McCarthy. He'll be even better. And now they can't even start him. Maybe they add Kirk Cousins. Uh-oh. Then there's the Jets. And to put it plainly, they suck. Could they trade for Davis Mills? Tanner McKee? Or just get Taylor Green in the 6th round and hope for the best? Maybe go sign Matt Schaub. What's Matt Schaub doing? He's around. Go get Chad Henne. The Dolphins also want Malik Willis. Why? I'll never know. You got Quinn Ewers. No one wants Tua Tagovailoa. No one wants him to start for them next year. I don't see any of these teams taking Tua to start for them. I probably wouldn't. But I also wouldn't take Malik Willis. The Browns. God bless the Browns, man. Where do they go? Who's their quarterback? Malik Willis? Ty Simpson? They can just keep drafting quarterbacks? Ty Simpson? Deshaun Watson? Dylan Gabriel? Shedeur Sanders? The hell do we do with the Browns? The Raiders. Taking Fernando Mendoza. Have to, right? Well, then where does Geno Smith go? Do they trade him away? Does he retire? He's getting older. Geno Smith was playing at West Virginia 12 years ago. Aiden O'Connell? Step in there for Fernando Mendoza to get his feet wet? You know he likes getting his feet wet. Fernando Mendoza is the kind of guy who likes dipping a toe in there, getting his feet wet.
They need me to take, a shot in the front, the back, whatever it is.
And then the Cardinals. Damn it. Also linked to Malik Willis. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Last I checked, Malik Willis cannot play for 7 different NFL teams next year. I know that Travis Hunter is currently doing that. I don't think Malik Willis has that same acumen. And where will Kyler Murray go? Where will Tua go? Where will Kyler go? Where will Aaron Rodgers go? What will happen to Deshaun Watson, who used to be a good quarterback? What will happen to any of the 9 Jets quarterbacks that started a game last season? Where does Kirk Cousins find himself? Those are questions we're going to have to answer in the next 3 weeks. Those are questions we need to answer about Aaron Rodgers before June, please. Yeah, I've been taking a lot of hard drugs and really thinking about my life. No, I can't do that again. I can't do that again. Please, please spare me of that, Aaron Rodgers. Get up, the news is out. Quarterbacks across the NFL. Madness. Yeah, it's time for Weird Wednesday. Bang. Weirdest headlines from around the globe since we talked last Wednesday. Oh, little raccoon reporter, huh? Staff at a major U.S. news station, won't say who, out of kindness, found a raccoon living inside the studio. It had snuck in to escape the winter cold, and it was just hanging out. Not sure if he'll be hired full-time yet. There was a raccoon who had burrowed in the Baylor baseball press box when I was covering games there. No one opened the press box for 3 months during the offseason, and the raccoons were just like, well, okay. Ours now. Lion dance. Masterclass. Police disguise themselves as a lion at a temple fair in Nonthaburi. New one for me. To nab a burglar. The suspect, distracted by a festival, was tackled by the lion, or he realized that it was actually a cop. In Japan, heart surgeon. Officials in Osaka stunned to receive an anonymous gift of gold bars worth $3.6 million. The donor included a note specifying the funds should be used to repair the city's aging water infrastructure. Golden fix. Also in Japan, a baby monkey named Punch-kun became a viral sensation at the Ichikawa City Zoo, clutching a stuffed orangutan. Punch is his name. For comfort, the zoo had to create a stress-free zone this week. The move was necessary after massive crowds descended on the enclosure to see the small Punch. Monkey. Yep, there's Addie on the YouTube live stream showing you Punch the monkey with his little orangutan. And finally, Olympic dog interrupts a race, 2026 Olympics. Canine competitor briefly shared the track with the world's elite athletes before being ushered away, providing Milan Cortina with its wholesome blooper. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Addie Bates, monkey. Punch the monkey. I'd punt that monkey, I'll tell you that much. Addie Bates produces out of Washington, D.C. For PETA purposes, I would not. Armin Williams, Bruce Gilbert, Colin Jones, all of my friends who help this show stay on the air. Thanks for listening. 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. every single day right here. Coming up, You Better, You Bet, followed by Black and Abdallah. This has been, always will be, The Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.